What's up, everyone? Welcome to a little bonus lesson. We are continuing the advanced style transfer. Today we want to inspire you that it's not just about changing a sunset to daytime. There's much more potential. We want to show a few examples that highlight the pros and cons of this approach. And there will be 6 examples, a super short and sweet lesson to open your third eye, the creative eye. It's not a perfect solution, but it's great when you need to pull a rabbit from a hat. So let's get at it. Okay, first example. You can see the base image on the left. It's one of the images we did for our exterior masterclass, an overcast scenario. In the middle, you can find the color reference we generated in Midjourney. Same workflow as we did in the last lesson. And the end result, a night scenario on the right. No 3D rendering whatsoever, just AI and Photoshop. And as you can see, we keep the result 100% consistent, which is pretty amazing. Especially that this is not an aerial, but a normal human perspective angle. We get a different sky, we get a custom water reflection. We use the architecture from the original rendering to keep the consistency, so everything just works. It kind of helps that we have an organic surrounding, lots of plants, not a cityscape. But regardless, situations like this are super often and you can keep it in mind. It's absolutely possible. When we have a cityscape, well, it's a whole different story. It doesn't look terrible at first glance, but when you start zooming in, the issues become obvious. The architecture starts to hallucinate a lot, it's unacceptable. Another big problem is the lack of natural illumination. In cases like this, we just need to take care of it in 3D. If you want it to work, you need to add intentional lighting, architectural lighting, street lights, interior lights. Right now, it feels random. There's this coincidental light in the foreground and it's completely distracting. Transitioning from a daytime scenario is much more difficult than from an overcast situation. Maybe we can use portions of this image somehow, but as a whole, it's not working. It doesn't mean transitioning from day to night is completely hopeless. Take a look. On the left, we've got the initial rendering, and on the right, the nighttime version. And the cool part about this example is that there's no Photoshop involved. The nighttime is actually just an automatic relight from Magnific. The same we used last time. We can see there's a mountain in the back, but apart from it, it keeps the consistency quite well. We even get those nice natural blue highlight on the stones in the foreground. Honestly, with a bit of Photoshop, we could probably get this transformation close to 100%. Sweet, moving on. This is a nighttime scenario, very moody, extremely dark. Everything is balancing on the edge of losing details, but hopefully they are here. AI is able to handle it, read the shapes, continue the geometry, add textures that match the lighting, and even add the whole golden glow in the forest that wasn't there. In this particular example, we can see some differences, the railing changes, but this one was again done in a matter of 30 minutes. Some elements like the roof we took from the old rendering and recolored it, and that's that. Overall, this render is completely transformed with minimal effort. It can also serve as a reference if we just want to work on the scene and go in that direction. The next example is another overcast from our first masterclass. Very interesting as well, with very diffuse light. And we are transforming it into something completely different. As you can see, we go for winter vibes. AI is great at adding snow. It understands where the snow should fall, what the edges of the objects are. It's absolutely incredible. This time we didn't replace anything from the original rendering, so certain elements, like the wall, will naturally have differences. Of course, we could work on preserving that, but I think the overall workflow we shared in the last lesson is more than enough. The elements that were water remain water, the trees in the background are still trees. The scale might have changed a bit, but definitely the transformation was successful and the level of detail we gained is what we hoped for. And the last example, this is an aerial shot and we transform it this time into a sunset. This one is pretty interesting. In this visualization, we had to keep the building because, of course, with such a small size and the level of detail, AI can't handle it. So we had to cut it out and recolor it to match the rest of the scene. But apart from that, we get the colors from Relight for free. When you look closer, we even get some additional shadows that seemingly are casted from the new sun position. This seems like a proper relighting that has a real impact on the scene. Something that can potentially work. Perfect! That was a fun little lesson. I hope it did inspire you to look at the subject with more interest. It's definitely a workflow that has a great potential, and the best part, it's also fun to do, even as an exercise. Let's do one more transformation then. Another style transfer ahead of us, pretty long one, but hopefully fun as well. See you there.